Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh Shem Al Shai Bashem Rakakodash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. And I'm going to entitle this video, The Woman in the Ancient World Got Married at age 12. And this backs up what we've been saying here at GMS concerning, certain camps, like IUIC and others. All these guys are getting with little 6-year-old girls and raping them and stuff, which is slander. They're gonna be sued for that. But anyway, that's based upon going back to when Polite and Sarnetta came down. It was 2013, I believe it was, because they were dealing with going head to head with the ISUPK up in Harlem, and which you have one of the main guys that you recognize is Captain Tazariak, and they had a camp up there in Harlem, and that was in 2012, and eventually Sarnetta came down to 34th and 7th, and he did ask, can I call Polite to come down? I said, yeah. I said, tell him to come down. And we went into it. I believe that's called a discussion. If you put in GMS, I don't know if it's still up there, but a topic that came up that became very controversial was the grape doctrine. And Polite asked, Polite is not so polite after all. Polite asked because we said, yeah, you back in the ancient world, they're great women. And so he said, well, how old were they? How old, And then we went into, when they were about 12, that's when puberty sets in. So when you use the word peta, you know what I wanted to say. That's talking about when you say the whole word. I got to be careful with the word. I got to use the word grape. When you use the word peta, you know what the rest blank blank blank. That means a lover of children. So you have to go into the word children. What's the difference? What makes a child an adult? Puberty. Okay? So, in the ancient world, and these Palestinians are from the ancient world. Let's get that straight. These Palestinians are from the ancient world, whether they're of Ishmaelite descent, Arab descent, or even Israelite descent, because I believe, you'll be surprised, but that's my thought through the Spirit, that I would say a percentage of them, whether it's 10%, whether it's 30%, whether it's 5%, but a percentage of them are Israelites. Remember, we were scattered, so we can pretty much say, if Hawaiians say they're Israelites, it could be. Because remember, Israel was scattered throughout the whole planet, scattered among the heathen. Who are the heathen? All the other nations. And the Israelites look like every nation under the sun. This guy right here looked like a straight up, like if you went to a Dominican mechanic. If you're from the Bronx, the best mechanics to go to is Dominican mechanics. They know they shit, but depending on where you go. Some of them rip you off. Some of them, there's certain Dominican mechanics I deal with that they don't rip you off, and they do excellent work. He looked like a Dominican, a guy that owns a garage where he fixes cars. And he said, "You talk to my son, Poppy. He gonna break it down to you, man." Look, she looked Puerto Rican. Look. They look like the Latin tribes. Look at her. This motherfucker looking like Ruben Blades' cousin and whatnot. I'm just joking. You know, the way he's holding the cigarette, he ain't holding the cigarette like a heathen. So, you know, if somebody says, well, they're heathens, you really don't know. You really don't know, because remember, you had Israelites scattered throughout the whole planet, literally. And the scriptures say in Jeremiah 12 and 9, if not 9 and 12, it's 12 and 9. It speaks of us being as a speckled bird. And we were hated by the birds around us. The birds represent other nations. So it said Israel's likened unto a speckled bird. So you got Israelites looking like every nation. You're going to have Israelites looking like Moabites. How many Israelites live among the Moabites? The Russians, them Russians, man, they're not afraid of Jake. Fighting wise, them Russians, them Chechens, and so forth. They just taking over the UFC, and they'll fight Jake. They boxing Jake, and they beating up Jake, man. Hey, it's hard to get them titles. Hey, if Mike Tyson was around during the time of the Russians, he had a hard way to go, because a lot of people were afraid of Mike Tyson. Russians are not afraid. But anyway, forgive me for my rant. I'm gonna let you hear something, right? I just put this video on. This was put up 6 hours ago. I don't even think the elder realized this. It says, where is vocab, Dr. Brown and the Christian street apologist? So this is a scene where these are Palestinians, and if you go to the different scenes of this, like I said, I only watched up to about here when they interviewed her. She been living, I believe she said she'd been living there for 7 decades, 70 years. And she's going to make a statement, which prompted me to make this video, to prove that the people in the ancient East, Middle East, and the Levant, that it was customary that women became wives as young as 12 years old and started having children, you know, at 13. You're going to hear this statement. But anyway, let me set the scene. These are settlers, which are small hats, just pushing out these Palestinians. When we're pushing you out, you got to leave. So she said she's been living here for 70 years. She said she remember when she was a little girl. You know, she remember when her mother died. You know, this, that, and the third. And then she talked about how she had children. So she said, "Look, we've been living here for all these years, for 7 decades, and you just come along and push us out, and the whole world sees this. That's why, you know, they lawyer up. If you say anything that they think is negative or criticize them in any way, they'll get litigations on you, because you got to hide that. You know, you gotta hide the fact. So if you say anything about them, even if it's factual, especially if it's factual, they see you're anti. But what makes you so special? That's my question. What makes you so special? Basically, that's favoritism. Well, you got one group that's over there, it's pretty much saying they're the top group of the earth and you're supposed to bow down to them. Which they are the top group of the planet. They control the shit. But the whole world sees it, you know? Too many news companies around the world, too many alternative media, you know, on the web. So it can't be hidden anymore. So anyway, I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna so I muted it and I got it on closed caption, subtitles. So here it is. It's a family. The mother has lived here for nearly 7, and the word is decades. Nearly 7 decades, almost 70 years. I was born in this house. It holds all my beautiful memories before the death of my mother. My children, now listen to this. Listen to this. This is why you other Israelites get all emotional. You guys are a bunch of pedophiles. Like I said, what's the difference? What makes a child go for it? What happens in their body? Not with Esau, because Esau tell you that if you're 17 years old or under, you're a child. You ain't a child. They're saying your shit in Vietnam. There were 16-year-olds going to fucking war. What you talking about, man? When you're 18, if you deal with a woman that's 17 and a half and you 22, you can get locked up, even if it's consensual. See, Esau has their own laws, which are against nature and are against the scriptures, of course, against the royal law. That's why they protect Moses. That's why this place got to go by fire, by stones and fire. The stones are missiles, and the fire are the warheads. It can't go any other way. Esau can't say, "Oh, we're giving this land up." Nope. You gotta go. You gotta go this way. You gotta go by way of fire. You gotta be utterly destroyed, and it has to be public throughout the whole planet Earth. It has to be publicized or published throughout the whole planet Earth, and everybody will see at the same time. Everybody will see. It's going to be breaking news when ships come down and start beaming Jake up. That's going to be breaking news. Oh my goodness, there's ships coming in there beaming Negroes up, and Puerto Ricans and so forth. And then they're going to say, wait a minute, there's going to be negotiations between Russia and America and so forth, coming down to the last hour. And it says that this place is going to be destroyed in an hour. If they shot off all these missiles, this place would be destroyed in less than an hour. Now, I believe Parsha, it's in the Apocrypha, part of the land of Assyria will be destroyed in 2nd Ezra 15, and also 2nd Ezra 15. But 2nd Ezra 15, it says part of the land will be destroyed. Or the Carmanians and the Carmanians and mixing with the Ishmaelites, part of the land will be destroyed. So part of my belief is that part of America will be hit, but not all of America. And then later in that hour, ultimately it's going to be hit. They're going to hit certain, let's go back to Israel and Israel, the IDF against the people of Iran. They hit them with a strike, right? Then they stop. So they're saying, okay, we're going to strike back in 2 weeks. And then they strike, right? It's not an all-out assault. They're telling them we're going to strike on this day. And the Iranians say, our response is we will attack very soon. So part of my belief, this is my opinion, I'm not saying that it's scriptural, but it says a 10th part of the city shall fall. A 10th part is a 10th part. That's where you get the word decimate. People use the word decimate. They don't understand what the word means. Decimate, that place was decimated. Decimated means 1 in 10. I said this before. Look up words. If I took 100 people and I say I want this, I'm going to decimate you guys. That would mean I would count 10 guys down and kill the 10th guy. Then I would count another 10 and kill the 10th guy. So if it's 100 guys, there's going to be 90 guys left. Then I might say, okay, I'm going to decimate you guys again. Boom, 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 boom. Then there's 80 guys. So when you go to, Revelation 11, it says the 10th part of the city fell. What does that mean? A 10th part. 10%. A tenth of your earnings. The word tithe means a tenth. But anyway, so this is a woman talking. She said she'd been living there. She got memories of her mother. Now check this out. It says the death of my mother, my childhood with my mother. After her death, I became a mother at what? What? Age 13. Does she look like she's crazy? Oh, that was too young. That messed her head up. Let her experience her childhood. What did she say? She said, I became a mother age 13. If she became a mother age 13, she was getting it in when she was age 12. And she was legally married, and her father probably gave her to the man, whether she liked the man or not. And I guarantee you the man was older than this woman. So that's what I caught. You got to remember that these people are ancient people. The Arabic language, this guy, Pearl, what's his name? Yitzhak Perlman, also known as Ben Yehuda, he wrote the dictionary, or they got a dictionary called the Ben Yehudi English, Hebrew, English, Hebrew dictionary. This man is a Russian small hat. He could be a Jake. Russian small hat. This was in let me do this. Let me do this. Now we gotta go into you gotta do the research on this. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to say. Powerful information on this. Okay, let me go to the father of modern Hebrew. Elazar ben Yehuda, which that's not his actual name. His actual name is Yitzhak Perlman. Here it is right here. Yitzhak Perlman. Yitzhak meaning Isaac. Yatazakak. So he adopted the name, which is more Hebrew, Ben, son of Yehuda, Eleazar. Lazarus is Eleazar, in the Hebrew. So Eleazar ben Yehuda, considered the father of the modern Hebrew language, is born Eleazar Yitzhak Perlman. Remember they had they had some little Hebrew first names and European, Silverstein. Those are not Hebrew names. Now these Arabs, wait a minute, let me come on back. These Arabs don't have, and none of them is named Bob. Ali Bob or Ishmael Smith. No, they have full Arabic name, which Perlman. And the Hebrew that we speak is based upon Perlman's Hebrew. Where am I at? Eleazar ben, Eleazar means help. Ben Yehuda, born Eleazar Yitzhak Perlman in 1858. And he lived to be, he died in 1922. Now, mind you, this is long before, this is almost I'm sorry, let me do this. just want to get some more information. Oh, it says as you do the research on this guy, many years ago I looked this individual up, and they said that he admitted that the original Hebrew is based upon the Arabic. He said basically what they're speaking is Hebrew. But then there's some more information about him where it says that he borrowed a lot of words from the Arabic for the modern Hebrew. For example, Abba is father, Arabic is Abu. Bun is son. Ibn is son in Arabic. So he did make that statement. He said that they're speaking the ancient Hebrew. So this was long before 48. So you had people learning who is known as the father of the Hebrews, who is the father of modern Israel. What words did Ben Yehuda invent? What is the origin of modern Hebrew? Let me see something. Let me check this out. Modern Hebrew is considered to be a Koine language. You got the Koine Greek, based on historical layers of Hebrew that incorporates foreign elements, meaning the Arabic, mainly those introduced during the most critical revival period of 1880 and 1920. This is long before 48. So you had Europeans speaking Hebrew, Ben Yehudi's Hebrew, as well as new elements created by speakers through natural linguistic evolution. So they kind of made up words, and they borrowed a lot of words from the Arabic. So before 48, there were settlers that came in and were speaking this Ben Yehudi Hebrew. And I'm going to say it again. We got the Hebrew from this guy putting together the Hebrew. Let me open this up. Born in Lithuanian village of Lesluski, Ben Yehuda was originally intended to become a rabbi. However, he became interested in the secular world and attended a Russian gymnastic Now look at this. See that these people were already here, already in the land, back in as early as before 1881. In 1881, Ben Yehuda moved to Palestine with his wife and devoted himself to reviving the Hebrew language. He compiled a dictionary of the language, which I have that, including ancient vocabulary and words he created himself. He also edited Hatzvai, one of the first Hebrew newspapers published in Palestine. So the majority of the people that were there were so-called Palestinians. It was out of Palestine, all right, which is Israel. But I mean, you can do the research, right? Okay, so let me come over here. So he's saying that pretty much the Arabic language is the original Hebrew. You know, and he had to borrow words, and he had to make up certain words too. Like they don't have a word for television, but they'll say it in in a Hebrew way. There's certain words that they use that they don't have a Hebrew word for. Modern words, so they had to make up words. But this is the main thing that I wanted. This is her speaking. My mother, after her death, I became a mother at age 13. So she was getting it in at age 12. Why? Because it was part of custom. It wasn't no rare thing. It was part. The majority of them women had started having children when they're getting married at 12, and your mother, your parents really, your mother will get you groomed. You know, you 10 years old. In another 10 years, you'll be, out of our house. You understand? So these are ancient people right here. So now when you go to the scriptures, like you got Israelite groups saying, oh, you got to get everything written on paper. Tobit says to get everything in writing. Yeah, but Tobit came along after Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and Judah, and Joseph, and Moses. There was no paperwork done when Isaac got with Rebecca. Matter of fact, they got married as soon as they had the act of sex. They never seen each other. An hour before they got together and went into Sarah's tent and had sex, they never seen each other. And when they saw each other was the term love at first sight. So Rebecca was looking good. She was looking good. And they both fell in love with each other. They both fell in love with each other, and they went into Sarah's tent, Isaac's mother's tent, and Isaac was depressed for a period of time because of his mother's death. And as soon as he had sex, he had no. Matter of fact, let me go to that. Let's see what comes up. Because all you other Israelite camps, you get all of you caught up in emotionals. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I got it right here. I already got it. I'm just looking at these. Okay, like it says here, 1 Samuel 25, verse 42, and Abigail, the wife of Nabal, arose and rode upon her ass with 5 damsels, other women of hers, that went after her. So she had 5 women servants with her, and she went after the messengers of David, and David became his wife, and became his wife, because this guy just died. So David just took it, and then she had 5 damsels with her. Let's look up the word damsels, which were from other nations. Now, it doesn't say he was popping them, but he was probably popping them too. So you Negroes, you Negro-lights, been in America too goddamn long. What you do? You GMS is going off. They're saying you can rape little girls. No, we didn't say it. The Bible says it. First of all, nigga, you don't eat food from the Middle East. You go to Mama's Fried Chicken, Burger King, Wendy's. You eat fucking Doritos, talking about you a Hebrew. Abigail. Okay, so let's look at the word damsels. David got with other nations' women as well. Girl, damsel, female servant, girl, damsel, little girl, of young woman, marriageable young women, concubine, prostitutes, maid, female attendant, female servant. But part of their job is they were concubines. So in the kingdom, we're going to have many concubines, as well as wives of the Israelites. So we're going to be living good. It's good to be an Israelite. So let's come on back. So when did Isaac and Rebekah become husband and wife? The very 2 minutes after they saw each other. Genesis 24, verse 67. And Isaac brought, let me open this up. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the evening tide, and he lifted up his eyes. And so remember, he was depressed. He was very in a deep depression because of his mother's death. And saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel. She got off the camel, and she said, and for she had said unto the servant, which was Abraham's servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? She didn't know who's this dude? Who's this dude? And he was saying the same thing. Who's this chick? She looking good too. And the servant had said, It is my master. It is my master, Isaac's master. And them servants were loyal. Therefore, they were so loyal that the top servant of Abraham, somebody help me out, was it Abimelech? I forget his name. I can look it up. Somebody help me out. He was so faithful to Abraham that Abraham wanted to give his inheritance to his servant. The Most High said, nope, you're going to give it to your son, your second son. So these servants back there was in the kingdom. They're gonna be super. They're gonna be obedient to us. They're gonna be happy, and they're gonna be happy. They're gonna own nothing and be happy about it. They're gonna own nothing and be happy about it. You Edomites are gonna own nothing and be happy about it. When we kick your ass, you're gonna be happy about it. It said, therefore, she took a veil and covered herself. Now the small hats, and I know this for a fact because I spoke to them. Orthodox Jays, and they told me. I asked them, why do your wives get shave their head bald and put a wig on? And they told me, I heard it from more than one of these. I'm talking about not a secular J, but a Orthodox J. And they said, oh, that goes back to Isaac and Rebekah. She took the veil off. She put the veil on. So they said that's a custom when they get married. If they're not married, they keep their hair. But when they get married, they have to shave their hair bald, and then they put a wig on them. And sometimes you look at them, you see the wig tilt to the side. I ain't joking about that. Sometimes you can see that it's a wig. So I said, well, why do y'all do that? It goes back to Rebekah putting the veil on. But Rebekah never shaved her head bald. So that shows you that these are not the people of the Most High. And the servant told Isaac all things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother's Sarah's tent and took, what do you mean? Let's look up the word took, Rebecca, and took Rebecca, and she became his wife. How did they become husband and wife? It was consummated. Ain't had no paperwork. Stop listening to IUIC. It said, and he loved her, and Isaac was comforted after his mother's death. So he was no longer under that depression. He was comforted, man. And on top of that, she was a virgin. And she was trained by her mother that you're going to get a man, and this is what's going to happen. You're going to bleed, and this, that, and the third, and then you're going to get pregnant. What they call the birds and the bees. Let me see something. I want to look up the word took. Took. Let's look up the word took. Okay, laquak. I know what the word laquak means. It literally means to take. Laquak. Laquak. Take, fetch, marry, take, to take and carry along. And she had no say. She said, oh, I'm not ready. No, you got to be ready because he was ready. To take to or for a person, procure, get, possession. Right, she was a possession to him. A select, chosen, take, in marriage, to take up, to fetch, to take, capture, seize. So she had no say in the matter. What if she didn't like him? Oh, he's too short, or he's too tall, or he's too this, or he's too that. She was trained. Hey, the movie, the original Coming to America, with the woman that was trained to be Hakeem's wife. And he said, bark like a dog, like a big dog. What do you like? She said, whatever you like. Yeah, this chick I used to deal with, we would role playing. She would act like the chick in Eddie Murphy movie. I said, what do you like? Whatever you like. And when she would do that, it would get me aroused. But was you aroused? Look, to be taken what? Captive. That's what the word means. You, like I said, you Negroites been in America too goddamn long. That's why you got caught up in emotions. And it was Napasha daughter had to say, nope, you're right. You can rate, and she's a woman, so she didn't get emotional about it. So that makes you guys look bad. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. With that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next.